la 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 la! Welcome! I'm back, and I'm going to tell you, well, not really tell you, but help you in applying for the JET program. Well, this is how I applied in New Zealand. It might be a different process in other countries, but this is how it works in New Zealand. So first up, how I applied. I actually found the JET program through just researching. I was basically real into the Japanese culture, and I've always wondered about living and working there. But to live there, I'd either go as a student or as a worker. And I thought, to be honest, I don't really speak any Japanese, but I would love to learn. But to actually study in Japan, you need a basic level, which I thought I'm a bit too busy because I'm actually doing my studies as well with uni. Also, there's things going on in my life that I want to complete first before I actually move on. And I found that teaching English is one of the top options that people do to go and experience Japan. And the JET program was the safest and most supportive option because it is run by the government and there is a long vetting process. So to be fair, I guess only the best go in. Things about applying for an overseas teaching job. I've always scared about how much support you would get. Also, the feedback and reviews from past teachers have been very mixed. Very, very mixed. Some of them scared me a little bit. But again, you have to realize every workplace that you go into, there's always going to be a good and bad environment. You just can't be afraid to try it. Also, you need to ask the right questions and research about the company before you apply for it. And I have been doing that. And there was a lot of companies that I was looking at, but I decided that the JET program was for me. To find more about the JET program online, you can actually just check out the New Zealand web link that I've added in down below, or Google JET program in your location. The JET program is not available to every single country. I think the main requirement is that your country's main language needs to be English and that you are a citizen of that country. So, the process is usually done in New Zealand. Applications open at the end of the year. So about, I think, September, October is when applications open, and that's when you have time to actually get all your documents together and submit it. And it usually, deadline is in November sometime. It varies every year. So, the first application form. The first step is always so stressful because there's so much paperwork. You'd need to fill out a JET program application form, which is basically just general information about yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages to fill out. You'd have to fill the digital form on your computer using Adobe Acrobat, which they've actually created it as an interactive PDF, so you can actually type in all your answers. After that, you press submit and it would send directly to the embassy. So that's the digital form to submit to them to basically say, I'm interested. Then you have to print out that form and sign it, pages 7 and 8. You have your original. You'd also need to photocopy this 3 times. So you'll have 1 original and 3 copies of this form. You would also need to write original at the top in red writing, top right of your page. Next, you'd need 2 letters of recommendation. Here's my 2 letters. I actually got 2 of my co-workers to write these out for me. If you are still a student and haven't graduated yet, but are about to graduate before you leave for the next intake of JET program, you must have 1 recommendation from your tutor or lecturer, and also mention your graduation date on it. Next, this part was a bit annoying because I graduated a while ago, so I actually lost one of my academic records, or maybe they never sent it out to me, but we'll never know. Okay, so with those academic transcripts, you'd need 1 original photocopy of each transcript, and all of them need to be signed by the Justice of Peace, which can be easily found in your local community centre. There usually is a Justice of Peace there on duty, I think daily, but different times vary for different areas. Or you could go to your Yellow Pages if we still do books. Or you can go online, look for the Justice of Peace's contact number. And if there is one near you, ring them up, ask them politely if they have time to actually look over your documents and sign some stuff for you. With those signed original photocopies of your academic transcripts, you will need to photocopy them 3 times again. That was the fun stuff. Next, this is the part where they actually judge you quite a bit and will minus points if it is incorrect. You'll have to fill out a statement of purpose. Whee! And it has to be double spaces. So basically, kind of like what you do in primary school when you leave a line for your teacher to correct or something. That's basically it. And the font must be Times New Roman, and your font size needs to be 12. No leeway there. It needs to be done that way, guys. So remember, statement of purpose, the date, and your name. So that's done. So with that, you guessed it, you need 3 copies of that. Next is the other academic part. You'll need to also get photocopies of all your graduation certificates, bachelor's, diplomas, and get them signed again by the Justice of Peace. So I would really recommend getting all your paperwork first and then going to the Justice of Peace all at once, which could take about 10-15 minutes to get it done and signed, because they look at the originals, because you'll need to bring your originals with you for them to sign it, to actually verify that these are legal documents and these are the copies of those legal documents and hasn't been altered. Next, you will need a photocopy of your passport. Okay? This passport again needs to be signed by the Justice of Peace, and you need to copy it 3 times again after it's signed. This part is not a compulsory, but if you have any certificates or qualifications in teaching English, grab the certificates, photocopy them, get them signed by the Justice of Peace again, and 3 photocopies. So I had 2, I photocopied them, get them signed, and then copied them 3 more times. Criminal record. This part gets a little bit tricky. So you don't actually have to have your physical criminal record done by the time of submission, but you need to show that you've actually applied for it before a certain date. So the date varies in each year again, so I couldn't tell you the exact day that you need to apply by, but if you have applied and it doesn't come in time for you to submit your paperwork to the embassy, all you need to do is grab the email that confirms that you've applied for it, print it out, and add it into your application packet. Also, applying for the criminal record is completely free in New Zealand. You just need to apply using the link below. P.S. guys, if you've lived overseas for more than a year, other than Japan in the last 5 years, you also have to apply for a criminal record in those countries. Once you've actually submitted the application, you'd also get your criminal record later in an email and via post. With that, just keep it until you get confirmed if you do receive an interview with them in the following year. Last step, as I showed you in the beginning, on the top right, using a red pen of your application form, write original, but only on the original. You should have now 4 piles of paperwork. 1 is the original and 3 are the copies. Do not staple any of the paperwork, guys. Just use a paperclip if you have to, like paperclip them on tops to separate them, and make sure that all of the documents are in the same order as the original copy. Don't send it late. Seriously guys, don't send it late. If it's late, they won't accept it. So my suggestion, send it early, or if you're really close to the deadline, like maybe 2 or 3 days, courier it. Use that money, courier that. I would highly suggest just courier it anyway, because it's pretty important stuff. If not, you can mail it, but remember it does take a while to get to Wellington, because you'll be sending this to Wellington. Step 2 will basically be a waiting game. You've submitted, you've done all you can, and usually they'll send an email when they've received your application forms. Kill time, enjoy Christmas, hang with your friends, don't think about it too much. It's not really worth stressing about something that you don't know until it actually happens. So just relax, live your life, take your time. So around the beginning of January, you receive a letter and an email saying you've been selected to have an interview in your chosen location. So I'm in Auckland, so I had an interview in the Auckland area, which was super handy because it was close to my work as well. And they gave you a set time and date. Hopefully this helped you guys. I'm going to do another video later on about step 3, which is basically the interview. Step 4, step 5, step 6, about the process of getting ready to go to Japan and what you might need to remember. Okay? So this is Daily. I hope this really did help you. I'm sorry that I waffled on a lot, so it is a very structured type of video. Hopefully this helped anyone who's from New Zealand who's really interested in doing the JET problem, but finding that the information online and the things that you need to fill out on paper is a bit intense and might need someone to talk them through it, which is why I'm here. Feel free to write comments below if you have any questions or if there's any queries that you want me to answer for you, like in the process. And if there's more stuff that you want to know about, flick it down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when those videos are actually popping up. Also that little notification bell. I don't know what that is. Go for it. Bye.